So many people have always bring about their opinion about how they feel Nigeria is supposed to work in order to make the poor masses or to make the population that we have feel happy. Watch this and see what is his opinion. This is Fela's son. Is it Seun Kuti? Watch his opinion.
When dollar was 1 naira, I dey tell you now, 1 naira to $1. 1 naira to $1. Now that time fella dey sing go. Say we are all suffering. You know, you see fella say bread unko, dodo unko, 10 kobo for one, 10 kobo. People no fit buy am. Akara unko, 20 kobo for one, orange unko, 30 kobo for one. Una think say fella dey call price from in dream. Na price of things, kobo. People couldn't afford it. Dollar was 1 to 1. Our lack of historical analysis no let us dey see the true picture of wetin dey happen for our country. Petrol, when I small, petrol was 22 kobo per liter. Go ask anybody. I see petrol for Nigeria, 22 kobo per liter. 22 kobo per liter. I see petrol when me I be small. 22 kobo. Bro, people were suffering. People couldn't buy it. If una think say na that reason make una dey suffer, I say where is the simple price control to stabilize markets for the common man? Simple, smallest effort. Smallest, that's the smallest effort. To create a government committee to look at the prices of everything for markets, look at the cost price, transportation, everything where they talk, profit margin, how much the price put, where everybody will say this is enough profit for one item of this thing. This is enough percentage profit to earn as any international. Link it according to our minimum wage and market prices. I'm not talking luxury goods. I'm not talking luxury. Forget the luxury things. Not the staple things we need to survive. Tissue paper, toothpaste, deodorants, soaps, food, rent. But they're the ones selling all these things. And they're also the landlords. Now then get everything. Say people will be landlord, now then get all the shop, and they get.
Okay. So this video that you just watched analyze, in fact, if you call a simple Nigerian, this is basically what they have in mind. They have this price control in mind that for Nigeria to be good, we need to have price control in our basic things like rice, like gari, like akara, like ewa, soap, as he mentioned, and things like that. But even though this thing looks simple as it seems, the way it say it, we have to analyze it critically to see what is it that other nations have done. Because when you look at things, you look at economies, you see that economies simply deviate from what he is saying. The principle for controlling price, according to economists, is the market indices, the market factors. And these market factors include price, but majorly depends on demand and supply. Economists will always tell you that the lower the price, the higher the demand. The higher the price, the lower the demand. So demand and supply have always been what have been used to determine the price of things in the world. Now let us go to America. America right now is facing a whole lot of challenges financially. Because for those that live in America, I have a few friends that are in America. The situation in America, even though being the land of the dream is not easy as people feel right now. You see a whole lot of people lining up in order to get free meal in America to eat. Research have also shown that it is only few Americans that have up to $500 saved in their account. What this means is that if you just go to America right now and randomly you pick like 100 Americans, maybe it is up to just about 10 of them or 20 of them that we have up to $500 as of that time that you randomly pick 100 people. So it shows that even the America with the almighty dollar is also experiencing the same economic challenges that the seemingly third nation countries, as they call us, Nigeria, is also experiencing. Some of these items that he mentioned, I will stick to food for now, are not directly influenced by dollar directly. For instance, someone will argue that which dollar will they use plant yam? Which dollar will they use plant egusi, plant rice, and things like that? But there are other factors that make some of these products backed by dollar. And one of these factors is the production cost of it. Some inputs that are used in farming these products. For instance, we have fertilizer, we have herbicide, we have insecticides. Those things cost a lot of money. And even though the prices of food right now is crashing because there is a temporary opening of the border to alleviate the suffering of Nigeria, as the government put it, allegedly, you see that the prices of those inputs have not reduced. The prices of feed to feed animals like chicken, like fish, are still on the high side right now. I was speaking to one of my mentees today, and she was telling me that a bag of maize chaff is 18,000 naira. A bag of groundnut husk, this is not, a bag of beans chaff is 18,000 naira. This is not beans. This is the chaff that we give to animals like goat and cow. Now, groundnut, the bag of groundnut husk is 14,000 naira. Now, this product we are sold for 2,500 naira, 3,000 naira 2 years ago. But now the prices is almost 300%. Now you can imagine the cost of the animal itself. So when you talk about price control, you need to look at some indices. Now, another indices you need to look at is transportation. For instance, some of these things are not directly farmed in some areas. It is farmed in the rural areas, and we have transportation moving them from the rural area to those places. Now, except Seun Kuti is talking about instituting regional committees in each region to see how much this transportation worth and everything, and putting price control to it. Now, he says something about rent. Rent is another thing that influences the prices of goods. You cannot expect someone that is selling, even in the same Lagos, selling in Ikorodu, to sell the same price with someone that is selling in mainland. Because in that mainland, there are so many factors that affect that person. The cost of his shop rent, the cost of his house rent. Because if you are looking at only his cost rent, you are not looking at, okay, for him to stay in that area that he does business, the houses in those influence area or affluence area are also not cheap. So there are so many factors that come in when it comes to price. Now, here is what I want to tell us Nigerians or Africans, we need to study what other people are doing, see what works for them, and then try to copy it in our own Nigeria way. Nigeria is a capitalist nation. Nigeria is not a communist nation. Nigeria is not a nation that is communist. And history has shown that capitalism always reward people that create solution to a problem in a society. So if a society is having water problem, instead of having some group of people that will now become like military juntas, that will now become like, communist, that will become like people that are waiting for you to create a solution, and they will now impose their own law on that solution for you. It will discourage entrepreneurship. When you try to hurt people from bringing in solution, business doesn't work that way. Copy what people, there was a time people see China as a communist nation. Even right now, it is still like a communist nation. But look at the business aspect of China. Go to China and look at the business aspect of China. The business aspect of China is not trying to stable the price or control price. They allow the factors of demand and supply to hold on to it. If you lower your price as an entrepreneur, you have a chance of having more sales. Countries like America have companies or supermarkets like Walmart. Walmart sell goods at a competitive, cheaper prices. And what happened? People troop into those places. In the UK here, we have Lidl. Lidl sell product at a very cheap price. In fact, sometimes, if I finish buying product from Lidl, I normally feel that as if I have cheated them. The product will be too big for me to carry, and it is not even up to £25. There was a time ShopRite in Nigeria, a South African brand, was doing well in terms of prices. I could remember if I go to Abuja, I normally go to ShopRite to shop. Some of these things are usually way cheaper than I will get it in my base there in Lafia in Nasarawa State. So instead of us only looking at these things, look at what have worked for other people. Look at what have worked for other people. Government, the real thing we are supposed to be working on now is subsidizing food. Subsidizing food. I know when we talk about subsidizing food and the government coming in, a lot of people have concern because the government, during the time of Goodluck, starting from the time of President Muhammadu Buhari, the government have tried, not only even Buhari, even the past president, have tried to see how they can come in food, like the Fadama program that was initiated, the Anko Borrowers program that was initiated. But what happened? I would like to talk briefly about these Anko Borrowers because I've been avoiding talking about it, but I think it's time we have a discussion about it. I am in the position to talk about the Anko Borrower program because I, in a way, was part of the beneficiary of these Anko Borrowers. It was a tripartite, the one we did, my cooperative did. The name of my cooperative registered with the Nasarawa State Cooperative is in Ministry of Cooperative was Young Progressive Farmers of Nigeria. So we approached Olan Farm. Olan Farm is a rice farm that is based in Nasarawa State, in Rukubi, Doma local government area of Nasarawa State. So there was a tripartite Anko Borrower program between Olan Farm, CBN, and the farmers. So it was Olan Farm, CBN, and the local bank. So it was like a tripartite arrangement, something like that. So what they do is that they do not give you money directly. They give money to an individual. So they give money to the cooperative. You have to form a cooperative of up to 10 people. So we are about 15 or so in our cooperative. So we approached and then we submitted our name. They asked us to open an account in Bank of Agriculture there in Lafayette, which we did. So they disbursed the first one. The first thing they disbursed was paddy. They disbursed paddy, rice paddy to us. We were to farm a rice. So they disbursed the paddy, rice paddy. Is it Faro 44? So they disbursed it. And then the next thing they needed to disburse was the working capital that will be used, because you will not, part of the agreement is that you will not just wake up and give only input. You also have to give some cash, because people have to pay for the harrowing, that is the tilling of the ground. People have to pay for weeding, cutting of the grasses, things like that. One, the money came in late. They did not bring in this money late. They did not bring in this thing late. Farming period was far going. Rain was already going when they brought in money. Now, for some people, they have to go and look for fund elsewhere in order to continue, because already we have received paddy. And once you receive paddy, you are already part of it. Now, let us also talk about input that was sent later. Herbicides, and fertilizer that was sent later. These things came almost at the time that farmers, or we were expecting to harvest the crop. So most of these anchor borrowers that came in, especially those that were giving input, this product did not even come in at the right time that these farmers needed it. So at the end of the day, when the product came in, farmers have no other choice, because the time to apply them have already passed. Farmers have no choice than to now start selling these things out in the open market at any price in order to see money to add up to whatever they have done in order to pay back the government. Now, I know that there are some farmers that receive cash, like during COVID-19, things like that. Now, these farmers did not return money back to the government. So the anchor borrower, even though some farmers are to be blamed for why that scheme failed, the government also have high blame in that, because there was no good monitoring system from the government. If you look at your local government that you are staying now, go and find out how many true farmers in your local government benefited from this money. The money was on a situation of who know who. Who know who? Farmers that are living in Abuja, farmers that are living in Lagos, farmers that are living in Port Harcourt, farmers that are living in the city of Kano, farmers that are living in big cities. Sorry to say, did I call them farmers? Big men that we are doing office work, we are now the true farmers that we are giving money to, because they know somebody that knows somebody. So these ones that do not farm, that do not have any experience, that do not have the doggedity, that do not even know what we face every day in farming in Nigeria, we are the ones that directly benefited from this money. So I shall try and make sure that my group pay up all the money. Olan Farm member might be watching me. We are not owing them. We paid up, CBN, our name is cleared. And the next year they approach us, I say, I am not part of this. Because I knew for sure that this cannot work. You are not giving us input at the right time. You are not even giving us quality input. You are not even bringing money at the right time in order to till the ground. And at the end of the day, when it fails, you will still blame us. Because it is easier to blame Nigeria farmers for anything that is happening. Price control is not the only thing we need. We need a compassionate government. We need a government that will subsidize agriculture, subsidize food. By this subsidy, it starts from production. It starts from subsidizing the input that we are using. It is easier for government to create a government department or store where we can go and get this input like fertilizer at a cheaper price. Now there is a problem. People will still go and pay money to those government agencies and hijack those products wholesale. So when farmers now go to those shops, they will not see it. When you go to the government agency to buy this product at a subsidized rate that will make food cheap, they will not see it. But we will now see this food in Igbo man shop, in Hausa man shop, in Yoruba man shop, selling it at a cheaper price. Why? Because they have been able to bribe the government officials and hijack this product. The problem of Nigeria is not as simple as Shehu is saying. It is a complex situation. And we really, really need to know what we have to do in order to make Nigeria great again. My name is Showboy. Call me Simeon Odi too. If you are watching my video for the first time, consider subscribing. Share my videos. And I want your comment also to know, what do you think about this? What is the solution? Because we are looking at building back Nigeria, making Nigeria great again. And it is all of us that have the collective effort to make our ancestors proud. I'll see you again in the next one. Peace and love.